Welcome to another installment of the Final Scoop podcast. My name is Robert Schinetsky. Joining me is my band of merry gentlemen and Lukasz Rytkowski, Prometeus Intelligent Sports Technology, the troublemaker. Robert Samborsky, the dream destroyer of Apollon Nutrition. Mr. Nice Guy, Shane Smith, Stack.com.
Thank you.
And the fifth member of our supplement roundtable is TJ Gonen, who will be joining us imminently. So thank you, my friends, for joining us. As always, we're doing it on a Monday today. We had a busy weekend. So thank you for accommodating this schedule shift. And for all of you individuals out there in the various realms of the internet, thank you for tuning in as always. We appreciate your support. If you like what we're doing here, leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, Spotify, Podbean, whatever have you as far as your podcast viewing, listening platform. And if you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share, give us a thumbs up, drop a comment down below. We will address each and every comment question you have for our panel after we delve through our main topic for this week. So, Lukasz, your mom just had a big birthday. How's she doing, man?
Yeah, she had a birthday on 9th. So thank you, everyone, for the happy birthday wishes, for support and feedback on her behalf. To be honest, I was also surprised because my brother, who has a birthday today, he came from England, so he surprised us all. So that was a great birthday present for her. So yeah, everyone is very happy. We have a packed house right now. My grandma is also here. So yeah, all is going well. So I'm more than happy, to have everyone here.
How does she feel? She's okay?
Yeah, she's doing fine. She's in good spirits. We're going Friday for some consultations, so we shall see how everything's gonna be. But yeah, everything's so far good. So yeah, man, thanks a lot, everyone, once again.
Outstanding. And gentlemen, this is Kismet. Mr. Pete Pazimus, who I saw at the Apollon seminar last October, is commenting what's up. And he is actually the one that is giving us the jumping off point for our first main topic today. So he shot me a message the other day saying, man, what's up? Why are supplement companies not sending out as many samples as they used to? It seems that when I place orders, we don't get samples with them, or, it's companies used to do that a lot. And he said, well, what do you think? What's your opinion on why companies aren't doing it, or maybe why some of the major internet retailers aren't tossing in a bunch of samples like they used to with orders? So I guess let's get the industries, let's get everybody's thoughts on that, starting with Robbie. You're the brand owner. So do y'all still do samples? Is it viable? Do you see any return on it? So what do you think?
No, we send a lot of samples. We just don't send them to Pete. Fuck that guy. No, I love Pete. No, but it's a good question. I think that the cost of manufacturing is extremely expensive. I think also, I'm speaking, of course, from my own perspective. I don't know how everybody else does, but clearly our products are expensive to manufacture. So for every sample, obviously there is also a minimum that most manufacturers want and demand. They want sometimes, thousands and thousands and thousands of samples, which is going to run, especially for a smaller company like ours, it's going to run a lot of money. To be honest with you, most of the time, I would say majority of the time, we do our own samples. We just order 20-pound containers and stuff like that, and then we just fill the samples ourselves. We seal them, put the label on them and stuff like that, and we send them out. To send them to stores, it's also a bit challenging because obviously of the traffic. They don't want 2 or 3 samples. They want shitload of samples. Now, we have already a lot of stores, but I can only imagine, companies like Kaged Muscle Tech and whatnot. They have an insane amount all over the world. Obviously, probably the cost for them is a lot cheaper. But nevertheless, take, for example, you're going to the Mr. Olympia or something like that. Those samples are just like being swept off the table. They're not exactly free. They all range, as far as I know, from a quarter to as high as over $1. It depends on a formulation and stuff like that. So it's just very, very it's expensive. It's expensive to do, no doubt about it. But again, I'm speaking from my perspective. Everybody else, I honestly don't know. I still think that samples are sent out, just probably not as aggressively. Like we typically, when we send an order, we will put actually a sample of something else, like, 1 or 2 samples. But no, Pete is actually right. I noticed one of our retailers that we are friends with. I used to visit him, and he used to have piles of of samples, but not so much. So Pete definitely is correct. I mean, I noticed that as well.
Lukasz, from your standpoint, do you guys request a lot of samples from the brands when you're stocking them so that y'all can send them out? How does it work from your end as far as samples?
Well,
and do you like them? Do you think you can adequately judge a supplement based on a single serving in a sample packet outside of its flavor?
I don't think so, but for our customers, it really matters a lot, to have samples, because they can use it for marketing purposes. They can use them for their clients when they're like stepping to the stores, not only from wholesale perspective, but most from retailer perspective. So I would say that samples and like gadgets are definitely very helpful, Also the customers, the end customer values, where when he gets something for free, not only like a plastic shaker or like a water jug, but also like physical stuff, those kind of things that can market it him, or like even bring how can I say, we always talk about this brand experience, where customers get something extra, like for example nice packaging of the product or something like this. So by adding some extra sample, or maybe like the sample pack where he gets, for example, 5 servings container, those kind of things, it matters, So at the end, if we are getting, like, from my perspective as a wholesaler, if we are getting from a brand's samples or any extra stuff, we always try to include them to the orders, just to appreciate the support, and it also always helps, to get the cooperation going and to have this better, relationship between the brand and the wholesaler,
Gotcha. Yeah, to bounce off Pete's point, I think it makes sense if for something like an amino product or protein, yeah. With pre-workouts, man, I would need probably 2 or 3 samples of a pre-workout to see if I'd want to judge it, because sometimes I'll have a pre-workout that feels great the first time, and then the second or third time I'll try it, it's very inconsistent. There's a couple that are in my cabinet right now
that's why I always value Shane's reviews, because he's not making opinion on like 1 or 2 servings. He's testing a product for example, more than like a week, or even like how much, like Shane, month or something.
Like I like to write it so that I can literally write it without having to have taken it 10 minutes ago, so I can remember what it's like, so I sort of can rely on it.
Yeah.
See, I like samples on protein powders. I don't really like them on pre-workouts and aminos, but not for the reason that you mentioned, but because I hate pouring it into a tub or a shaker, and then like you still get shit left in the corners. And for me, I'm like, oh man, that's like 10%. That's like 270 caffeine if it's 300. And then like if it's 2 samples to make a whole serving, you're like, shit, that's 10% both ways. And then I have to pour the water into the sample and mix it around, and then pour that into the shaker. And I'm like, fuck this. It bugs the shit out of me, because I'm like, whereas if you get a tub, you can do like a little bit more and you'd be like guaranteed to get it all, right? Yeah. So I hate taking samples and being like, I don't know if it hit enough because I left powder in the fucking bottom of the sachet. First world problems.
Man, I think that's the most riled up I've ever seen Shane get. This is good. We need to talk about sample packets more on
like the final scoop, man.
This is just pet peeves of supplements. That's it.
Yeah. All right, Zandandito gave us our next jumping off point, and this is actually very poignant, because we were talking about this before we hit the go live button. So, especially a question for everyone. We'll pitch this to TJ once his ass gets up on here too. few weeks ago, the Review Bros did a review on the Naughty Boy Lifestyle pre-workout. They didn't like it. Naughty Boy kind of went off. They got their panties in a twist and became very negative towards the review. So for those of you that have done reviews before, either published them in written form, done videos for them, Shane's probably done this a bunch. I have too. And when you're dealing with companies, they will always tell you, well, yeah, we want your honest opinion. We'll do this. And I was talking with Gerhard over at Fitness Informant about this last week when I had him on the podcast. You know, we say, companies will say, yeah, we want your fair input. We want your honest assessment of the formula, its effects, whatever. Then you give it to them. And if it's not in line with what they're doing, or if you don't make it as earth-changing as they think it is in their head, then they start to shit all over you. So let's start with the brand owner perspective first. Robbie, how do you handle a less than overwhelmingly positive review, or just something that's, you know, maybe lukewarm or negative?
So you shit on people all the time.
You know what? I actually, to be honest with you, I never had a negative review. I mean, this is not being arrogant or cocky. It's a fact. I've never had a seriously negative review. Everything that's been reviewed from Apollon, I would say, was positive. I mean, if it was, and I always said that I'm nervous when I send out something for review because it's just a natural feeling, and because we don't pay like some companies do to certain channels to say certain things. We actually do. Shane, stop. Like every time I try not to look at you because that smirk is coming up. But the truth is that I'm nervous just because because you don't know what people's what they're gonna say.
People got executed.
Yeah, you don't know how they're gonna put it. You don't know how they're gonna like it. So I'm nervous, but at the same time confident, if that makes sense, because I know, like, listen, we fully dose products. Everything but our pre-workout tastes phenomenal. I know that because before it gets a green light to get manufactured, I give it to like 50 people to try. So unless it's overwhelmingly yes, it's not going to get manufactured no matter how many times. So I'm fairly confident, and I don't get negative reviews. I might get, like, you know, before we started the program and we said Assassin doesn't taste good. I have zero problem with it because I think it tastes like ass. It's just, you know, it's the truth. So why would I get pissed about something is that it's common knowledge? I'm not going to get pissed over it. If somebody's going to say, like, criticism that Assassin is too strong, well, fuck you. Don't use it, because it's meant to be too strong, and it's for certain target audience and for certain customer. So I don't get offended with that either. However, I totally see what you're saying, and I actually saw that review by Review Brothers, and I'm not going to deny it because I consider them friends. They're my friends, so we talk a lot and we discuss things. And they told me about what happened with Naughty Boy. I never used the product. I never tried the product. But when I look at the label, even though TJ says labels are just labels, to an extent it's true. But you can also say, you can tell a lot by the label too, especially if you know that it's manufactured by a legit company. You know, it didn't come from God knows where, but it's actually a legit company manufactured in a legit facility, and we know those companies. So looking at the label, you already know more or less what to expect, kind of, so to speak. When I looked at the specific label, because I know Naughty Boy comes with different products and different versions, I guess, I saw some of them that I was fairly impressed. That particular one that Review Brothers reviewed, and in no shape or form am I shitting on them right now, I'm just being honest. When I saw the supplement facts, I was not impressed with supplement facts. And the way they reviewed the product, I could actually tell that just based on supplement facts, that's exactly what, you know, how generally a person would feel. So, you know, you cannot send out a product. This is my opinion. I understand all of us want to be told good boy, you know, and we all want to be told how great we are and how amazing we are. But you know what? I came across yesterday a product that I know if I showed any one of you, you would say, like, fuck this shit. You know, the product had 300 milligrams of citrulline. 300 milligrams of citrulline. Do you honestly expect that when you send it to a legit, like Robert Schinetsky or Shane or TJ or Review Brothers, somebody who's not going to hold back, Well, number one, let's be honest. You're not going to send the product to them because if you will, you're fucking suicidal. You guaranteed to be shit on. You cannot send a product that fucking put it in a prop land. Put it in a prop land. This is fully transparent product. I saw the label. I had to fucking double check if it's true. It's 300 milligram of citrulline. I think it's 200 or 250 milligram of caffeine and 300 or more milligram of theanine. What the fuck are you trying to do with that? Like, why would you put 200 milligram of caffeine and 300 milligram of theanine? What are you trying to achieve? To make it a sleep formula? Because that's essentially what it is. So do you expect that somebody's going to say something good about it? Let's just be honest and let's be fair. You know when you make a shit product. You do know when you make a shit product. You know when you're trying to hide into a prop land. You know when you're trying to save money. You do know. It's inevitable. So if you know, do yourself a favor, hire a good sales rep, let them go to stores, bullshit them, give them a very good price because clearly you can because your product is cheap as fuck and you're going to make money regardless. Why would you send it to somebody who has even 1,000 followers on Instagram or, on YouTube and he's going to fucking blast you because unless you pay him and he accepts payment and he's willing to put his reputation on the line and say that this is the greatest shit ever, well, guess what? You're going to get crucified. So although I do understand your point by saying, brands get upset when you criticize them, why the fuck are you getting upset where the writing is on the wall? You cannot send a product to a legit reviewer expecting he's going to say that you have the game-changing fucking pre-workout when you have 300 milligram of citrulline. I mean, let's just be real. That's my opinion.
Yeah. Shane, what about you? You put up reviews fairly regularly, and something lands a little flat for you. How often do you get kickback? Or are you just kind of the thing where you just decide I can review products that just kind of look shitty on the outside? So it's always mostly positive. Because I don't really, if I see a product that has a garbage formula, I'm not inclined to buy it. Or if a company reaches out, I'm going to say, look, you're not going to like what I'm going to have to say about this formula. So I only want to review good stuff because there's so much good things out there. I don't really want to waste my time or the consumer's time and money on products that might be good, but most likely just based off the formula are bad.
Yeah, I had this discussion with Chris from Inspired last week. I was saying that, we try and review the products that the audience seems to be interested in. So if I put up a product, and thankfully, the only ones that seem interesting are the ones that look good anyway. But occasionally you get a few that are like hit or miss, and people will say, okay, we've seen this for review. And I was like, look, we'll share it. If it gets a good enough attention, I'll put it to good use. But I have, like you're saying, when I work out, I know that that's my chance for that day to make some gains, right? That's my that's my chance, right? I was a little tiny white boy back in the day, and I take all the chances I can get. So yeah, so and I've seen some dudes, man. I'm still not very big. So when I work out, the last thing I fucking want is to take a pre-workout that's gonna make me perform like shit. And there goes one day out of my 365 that I get to try and improve, right? Worst thing is you run into 2 that week. It's like, so I hate using a bad pre-workout just as much as the next guy. Same with recovery, same with everything. So I kind of, I try and I enjoy using the good ones, and I try and judge them based on paper. But then every now and then you get one that looks good on paper that is average, not so good. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's few and far between, but I have had brands that we've reviewed in the past where we didn't kind of take this approach where they were like, can you take that down? It's going to hurt our sales. And I'm like, but you asked me to review it. I don't know. Get threats, many things over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, you just gotta, it's just, yeah, people get, and I think it's partly because like we had one where we did a review of a product. You won't know it, but I'm not going to name them. And because they were quite new and because Stacked was Stacked, if you typed that name of the product in Google, first thing to come up was Stacked. And you didn't even have to put in a review with it. You just put in the name, and that was what came up. And our headline, I don't believe, was overly appealing. So, like, they get upset with that. And generally, when you share something on Stacked, it does go up to the top of Google. So it's I can understand to some extent, but like Robert said, just don't make a shitty supplement. I mean, even if you're like that blind and you're like, no, it is the best, and it looks like shit, all you have to do is look at what other people like or other reviews that people are rating, and you can look at yours, but then a lot of the time, the first excuse is, well, I can't put that in there. Or, no, that's just going to be too expensive. Oh, my distributor has to make money. And I'm like, okay, then. So then don't be surprised when someone says it's not the best in the world. But they want you to think it's the best in the world based on their circumstances. But no, consumers don't give a shit about that. So who really cares? It's a tough. It's great in the beginning when no one cares about you, because then you can say whatever the fuck you want. But as you get bigger, shit gets annoying.
Yeah.
Hey guys,
really-
I wanted to ask you one question. Did you ever had like a brand that approached you, and on paper the product was like maybe mediocre, but when you tried it, it was like, whoa,
Oh yeah,
it's legit.
yes,
Yeah.
That's why I just take everything, like, it's good to judge on paper, but like if something looks average, I'll still try it. Mostly because I've had what I thought was average. Like, no offense, but Unstoppable from Dedicated wasn't a great example of like a loaded pre-workout. But then try it and it hit better than anything else I'd ever had. So I was like, fuck me. Like, and you look at the label and you go back and you try and think like, what the fuck is this? Like, what's doing it? Right? I had that with the new Devastate. I looked at the label and I'm like, I just like, again, just like an energy drink, it's fucking magic. It's all I can explain. It's Harry Potter magic. It's just it's one of those things where you just don't want to look at the label and be like, you know what, he's just put extra love into this batch or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the way I felt about Glaxon. I mean, that's the biggest example I thought, or the most recent was Glaxon. I mean, I looked at their formulas and I thought, well, this looks a little low. This looks a little low. I remember this. I'm talking about like when they first came on the scene, like January, February of this year, and I thought, man, I mean, I like the whole astronaut space theme and all of that. I'm thinking those formulas, and then you try it and you're like, all right, these guys, they know what they're doing. These things are hitting. They're hitting well for me.
But then the problem is that you get guys that say that, oh, Western are just we got some great blends like them, and it's like, no, it's actually just dog shit. But like, they can kind of jump on the bandwagon.
I think it also depends. I think where the products are, honestly, where they're manufactured, because that is extremely important. Because I think, Robert, you and I talked about this. Originally, the first manufacturer, I'm not going to name who it is, but you probably all know because they've been in the news lately a lot. Archaeus that was manufactured. I know that on paper, what we put was like fucking kick-ass formula. Just by looking at the formula, you could probably sweat. And when we got it, it was okay. It was okay. It was nothing extraordinary. It was fine. Long story short, we caught the manufacturer with certain issues. We switched manufacturers, same formula, same exactly formula. And the product was an absolute kick-ass. I mean, it was just like, whoa. You take it and within like 10 minutes, you're sweating your ass off. And the same thing happened with Assassin. The first formula with Assassin had DMA in it and whatnot. And I was always like making sure that, that the research has to go into it and it has to be fully dosed and whatnot. And I know my market. But when we received the formula, I remember a sample from the manufacturer. They sent us a sample. Again, I took it. I gave it to a couple of guys who took it. Nobody was like, "Oh my God, this is strong." And I'm looking at the label and I'm like, "This can't be." And I took it myself, and the only thing I got from it was a headache, like unbelievable headache. But again, you try it a few times, and I tried it, I remember 3 or 4 times, and same result. Nothing extraordinary, but I would get a tremendous headache from it, and nobody was raving about it. So somebody told me, like, it depends on the manufacturer, switch to a different manufacturer, got the same fucking formula, got samples, and all of a sudden, all of us are like, we are flying. I mean, it's just an insanity. And I'm like, it has to be the manufacturer. The first one, beta-alanine was in it, 0 tingling, absolutely no tingling. Alpha-Yo is in it, and no cold sweats or no that Alpha-Yo feels. But the second one, identical. So I think the manufacturer plays a huge part. It depends what the product is manufactured, and I think that's you got to have because I'm not saying that every company does it intentionally, where they're trying to to make shortcuts and just to put out shitty products. Sometimes they really put out good formulas, but the product doesn't come out good. Most of the time it's the manufacturer's fault, and I think you have to demand certificate of analysis, and you have to try the product, and you have to give it to few people to try, no matter what it is, whether you're trying just for taste or you're trying for performance, but you have to try it. So I think that sometimes you get an average looking product, but think about it, we know a certain way certain ingredients can hit. So sometimes an average formula hits you pretty good. So you're thinking, oh my God, this is just as good as that fully loaded product. But the fully loaded product is actually underdosed, and that's the reason why they're on the same level. Now imagine if that fully loaded product was actually fully loaded, then you can really compare. And that's the only way to do it. So sometimes, it's not the company, it's the manufacturer. It's extremely important.
Agreed.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for you guys listening out there, keep the comments, questions rolling. We will get to everything as soon as we make time for it through our main topic discussions. Robbie, are you handing out AEDs with Assassin? A free AED with every 2-tub order of Assassin?
Sure.
Devin, the calendar is Monday. Your calendar's not incorrect. It's just that our Saturday was kind of a shit show for our panel members, so we decided to bump it to Monday, which was fortunate. So. And don't get me started. Don't get me started. I haven't had my happy juice yet. Don't talk to me about S7. Scott McCarroline, all the way from Scotland. Robert, I tried your tip using hot water to dissolve creatine. Works much better. Yes, creatine does dissolve better. I would say make sure it's not like boiling hot water, because the temperature, creatine will dissolve in overly acidic environments or overly hot environments, which will degrade it from creatine to creatinine, which means you're not going to get any benefit from it whatsoever. You'll just elevate your plasma levels of creatinine, and then if you go to the doctor after taking that, they'll think you have kidney damage because you'll have elevated creatinine levels, even though you won't. Speaking from personal experience with that one. So use slightly warm water. So if you made your cup of Scottish tea, take it, make your tea, leave the water sit off the boil for a little bit, let it chill down for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, then mix your creatine in there, and then you can drink it. But drink it pretty quick, because the hotter water is, the faster the degradation rate of creatine will be. So,
or shoot it straight to the dome.
That's another way. Just do that and then chug a big bottle of water.
That's how I do it for many years, man.
Is that how you sip? All right, this is another question. How do you all consume your pre-workouts? Do you sip them? Do you dry shoot it? Do you mix it with as little water as possible and just chug it back? What is your pre-workout consumption ritual?
Every time I sip it. Every time.
Over the course of like 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes?
Man, to me, it doesn't matter how shitty it tastes.
You should have more seriously. You should have been like,
seriously, I can sip it. I can sip it just like cold, nice beverage. To me, it really doesn't matter. It's more like a ritual to me. When I wake up at 5 a.m. I do my pre-workout, wait for like maybe 20 minutes, and then I enjoy a cold.
Well, yeah, because you're so fucking tired at 5 a.m. Of course you're gonna be drinking it slow.
Yeah, of course, man. It's like my ritual, It's like
I got up at 5 a.m. I'd have trouble pouring it into the goddamn.
And then 6 a.m. I'm at the gym, crushing the weights, doing my thing. So yeah, man, that's the thing.
Oh,
That's how I roll, man.
All right, Robbie, what about you?
Chug it down as quickly as possible.
A lot of water or just a little water? Like minimum amount of water to dissolve the powder? Or are we talking like a decent amount?
No, about 8 ounces at the most.
Okay. Shane?
I have a pre-workout mug. It's like a glass skull.
So wait, let me get this straight. You take it and you mix it in a shaker, then you pour it into the skull mug, so you're dirtying two
No.
containers?
I just pour it straight into the mug and stir it.
Oh, okay. Well, what happens if you have like a monster, like a 20-gram scoop of something? I mean, are you sitting there for like, are you getting like those little whippers out that go bzzz?
No, it's a pretty big mug, and you can stir it pretty hard.
Okay.
But I got that maybe 5 years ago, and then when I traveled, I didn't get to use it. Now I'm kind of using it again, but most of the time, I do the scoop. I put water in my mouth and then just let the scoop straight. I mean, it's a little harder with hooligan, but yeah. Yeah, it's
I got a question about that. Do you drink your water first, then you scoop it, and then you drink with water, or do you scoop it at first and then drink water?
I have done this. I have done this for like a decade, back since they had Jack. That was why I did it, because I was like, I remember I was away somewhere, and I didn't have a cup, but there was a fountain, and I was like, well, what the fuck am I gonna do? So I like drank some water, and I was like, I'll use my mouth as the cup. Pour the scoop in. Back then, 5-gram scoop was easy. But then now when they're like, oh, do you do straight to the dome? Like, put the fucking dry scoop in your mouth. And I'm like, that's the dumbest shit ever. What the hell are you doing? You have to have water. Like, I don't understand. Like, and all it does is, because see, I hate the powder getting stuck in the sample packet. Do you understand? Like, when you put it straight into your mouth, you're going to get like that 10% stuck in your teeth. It's pointless. I don't know. I've never tried a dry scoop, but I think it's the weirdest. I just don't understand how you expect to get it all down when there's no liquid.
Well, to be honest, I'm always doing like dry scoop.
Yeah.
If I'm going straight to the dome, I'm always doing a powder first, and then I drink water.
No. Yes, that makes sense to some extent, but I've seen people who just do the powder.
Just the powder and not drinking water?
They were like, oh, I don't know. Anyway, see, I still do the water first because, again, you put the powder first, it can get stuck. It can get stuck in the front of your teeth. It's just, again, I want to make sure I get every single gram of my pre-workout. As I explained, you only get one chance a day to make some gains, and you're gonna play gamble it away by like throwing the scoop into your teeth? No, not this guy.
Well,
Robbie,
maybe that's like an extra.
That Shane perfectly reviewed your product.
That could be like a mid-workout energy boost, Shane. That extra 10% that gets stuck by like your back molar or something. Like, let's say you take a sip of an intra-workout, and then it catches that little 10%, and then it goes down and it releases mid-workout, and you've got like that final little boost to get to the end, the finish line.
I only work out for maybe 45 minutes to 60 in weights, right?
Yeah.
If there's time for me to have a mid-workout, I'm not working hard enough.
I like to get a big old shaker, fill it up as much water as I can, and I will sip on that thing for like a good half an hour, just enjoying the flavor. It's a ritual. It's like I get my morning work done. I'll sip my pre-workout while I'm relaxing for a little bit, while I'm maybe watching like an episode on Netflix or Amazon Prime or something, or answering emails, something a little bit more mindless. I'll do that, and then it's a ritual every day, or the days that I'm training. It's a ritual that's very specific and targeted.
Yeah, I mean, I do the first few servings of a pre-workout.
Yeah,
in my pre-workout cup, because I like to know if it does taste good, and if it does taste good, like it's actually something I can enjoy, then I'll keep drinking it out of the cup. Assassin, I did not keep drinking out of the cup.
No, I usually stack that with like a scoop of Hooligan Bare Knuckle, or like half a scoop of Hooligan Bare Knuckle to like cover up some of the. I mean, it's not bad tasting, but it's got that stimminess to it. It's got those stimmy qualities.
Lukasz, you can cover it up with a can of Monster.
Yeah, there you go. Sups on deck. Who cares about the flavor? I'm taking it for performance. Amen to that.
Exactly my point. You take it for performance.
Exactly.
Amen.
No sample.
Pete Pasmus. 4:30 a.m., 10 to 12 ounces of water, chug it down, working up by 5 a.m., and away we go.
Fuck.
But what's
the way
the
to
point
go.
of chugging it down? I don't understand that, man.
I don't
Just
understand sitting there sipping it slowly. What the fuck?
It's
Yeah,
just, it's like a warm coffee. You enjoy it. You
Look,
savor
man,
the
if
flavor.
you want to get the ultimate hit, if you want it to all come rushing in like on the same second, you
Yeah.
got to get it down in the same second.
Yeah, but Shane, when I'm waking up at like 5 a.m. and I'm going to train at 6,
Yeah,
when
I've been there.
when I hit the pre-workout, it hits like in 15 minutes because I'm fasted. So to
Yes,
me, it doesn't matter,
know.
you know. I can sip it
back
for like
altogether.
20 minutes and it's still gonna hit me hard, you know.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 5 a.m. is just you can explain. I'm not really.
That's
I've
what I
been
used
there.
to do when I was engineering. I would wake up at 4:30 or 5, and this is before I even really found out what the hell pre-workouts were. I wasn't in tune to what pre-workouts and all of that were. So the first few years of me actually doing resistance training style workouts and everything, it was just I would wake up at 4:45, immediately go head into my home gym, work out, shower real quick, and then be at the office by like 7 or 6:30 or 7 to do that. But and then I found out pre-workouts and caffeine. That made it even that much easier to get up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock and get a training session in.
Yeah, I had I used to when I did competitive swimming. That was the training that we had. Training 5:30 for 2 hours every morning.
No.
Fuck that noise. I ain't never going back.
Zandandito, does creatine degrade in ice or ice cold water? Yes, it's just the rate of degradation is considerably slower than that. So I mean, if you leave it in cold water in the refrigerator, after 36, 48 hours, eventually it will degrade. It's just the rate of decay will be that much slower in a colder environment or more pH neutral environment as well. So yeah, eventually all things, and like all things in life, everything will degrade and deteriorate over time. Just it's much slower in cold or ice cold water.
Robert, what are your thoughts, even though I suspect I know what you're going to say, about those energy drinks that claim to have creatine in it? I mean, most of them are sitting in a fucking fridge forever. Why the fuck is he laughing every time I say something?
I've had this discussion with a lot of people. I won't explain this discussion on this podcast, but I have some funny things.
So share it with us.
Go,
Should I share it with you?
Yeah, go on, man.
It involves multiple drinks. So no.
Yeah, go.
Okay, let's just throw
We got
Robert
time.
under the bus.
No, I'm not. No,
It depends on the
no.
form of creatine that's going to be in there. So something like creatine monohydrate mixed up in solution, it'll be gone. It'll be deteriorated unless you're getting it like fresh from the production line and then chugging it. If you're using that super creatine that Bang uses, that is a water stable or it's a water soluble form that's stable in solution, meaning it won't degrade.
Even though it's sitting most of the gyms in a fridge.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's because it's bonded to leucine, and so that's also helping it, I believe, cross the blood-brain barrier and maintaining its stability in solution, plus whatever else they're complexing it with. It really depends on the form of creatine and probably the dosage as well.
Okay.
So I would say most RTDs aren't including regular creatine monohydrate. Bang's the only one that comes to mind that even puts creatine in it.
There's about 3 or 4.
Yeah, I've seen a few.
Okay, yeah, that's the only one I don't know. I'm not an energy drink expert by any means. I mean, I know the major ones out there, but some of the other ones I'm not as.
Maybe I'll message Robert afterwards, or maybe I'll talk to him later.
That'll work. We'll save that for the after hours edition.
Yeah.
Creatine and energy drinks and most ingredients except caffeine are heavily. Oh yeah, absolutely. Energy drinks are purely about the caffeine. Sometimes the taurine is dosed decently. Like I think in the old, I don't know if it was Red Bull or Rockstars actually had a pretty quality dose of taurine in there, and they based that off some rodent research that showed if you have 10 times the amount of taurine compared to creatine, it actually does potentiate some kind of cognitive benefits or neuroprotective qualities as well, or cognitive enhancement, better focus, productivity, concentration, those kind of things. So that would be one example. Those studies have not been replicated in humans, though.
I guess it's kind of like energy drinks are like, I explained that before. They're sort of like, you grab them for like a quick boost, right? Like you just grab them. You're not grabbing them to like knock out a personal best at the gym. It's kind of like, I think, a protein bar. You're not buying a protein bar to get clean 20 grams of protein, 0 fat, 0 carbs. You're buying because you're like, shit, I don't have a choice. I just need something.
Yep.
I think energy drinks are just, I'm not buying it for my clinical dose of creatine, that's for sure.
Yeah, exactly. And creatine's so cheap anyway. You might as well just always have a big bulk tub of it sitting in your pantry. For Robbie, how's the gym doing operating with the new nonsense of COVID regulations?
Honestly, it's okay, but it's definitely not back to, not fully back to regular status, so to speak. Like, I know that just before they announced that they're going to reopen the gyms, everybody said that it's going to be like New Year resolution. Everybody's going to go to the gym and it's going to be busy and stuff like that. I didn't believe so, and unfortunately, this is one of those times when I was right. We got back maybe 30 or 40% of our members. Mainly, there are a few reasons behind it, and it's not just us, it's a lot of gyms. In fact, even though the gyms are now legally open in New Jersey with 25% capacity, I already know of 3 or 4 gyms that are already out of business. The reason is few reasons. Like I said, number one, people think that working out wearing masks are bad for you, which I'm inclined to believe. So that's one of the reasons that people don't want to come. They don't want to wear masks. The other part is people are scared because they brainwashed by the media and they scared to go to the gym because they're gonna, get COVID and whatnot. So they're not coming to the gym either. And then you have a lot of people that have actually lost their jobs and they're trying to save, and they're saving everywhere they can. So as a result, they're not coming to the gym. So you pretty much it, because some claim that that's because people bought home gym equipment and that's the reason why. I don't believe that. I think that the real gym rat or somebody who competes or whatnot and loves to come to the gym, I don't believe that that's going to hold them. I have a pretty decent setup at my house and I fucking hate it. So I'll work out maybe once or twice a week in my house, but I still want a gym environment, because let's just face it, unless you Dwayne Johnson or somebody like that, you cannot have a fully equipped gym in your house that's going to cater to everything that you need. And plus, still, I enjoy having people around me when I work out. I hate most people, but at the same time, I still enjoy seeing somebody lifting next to me. Even when I see, for example, powerlifters, right? I'm not a powerlifter. I have nothing to do with powerlifting, but just to see that they, pushing heavy weights, and it kind of pushes you and motivates you to work out. So it doesn't matter what anyone does around me, just having that music blasting and, people either screaming or the sound of weights and stuff like that. I like it. So the whole notion about having a home gym equipment, and that's the reason I don't buy. I think it's mostly the masks and mostly fear. And that's pretty much it, and money.
Well put. Shane, are the gyms by you pretty normal?
Yeah, I mean, we had them open since, was it May? I think we opened in May, but that was after we had like a complete lockdown, and then I think after it opened, we had we eventually got to like no cases in the country at all, and then there was like nothing for 3 months, and then they closed down, I think, for like a week or two.
Mm-hmm.
And then they opened up again. So, I mean, but I'm like literally what Robert said when I think I was talking to my mom. She's like, "Oh, you're gonna go back to the gym?" I was like, "Fuck yeah, I am."
Yeah.
Like, she's like, "Oh, aren't you?" I was like, "Look, dude, I'm worried about many things, but I care about a few things." And the gym is one of them. I don't do many things. And like, to be honest, the only thing that changed in my life when I was in lockdown is that I didn't get to gym. Everything else was the same. I ate the same food, I still did work. Nothing changed. It's just I lost the gym. So it sucked balls. So when it opened up again, you bet your ass I was in there that day, that morning. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Shane, do you have to wear masks?
Hell no.
Okay.
Well, not that I know of. I mean, I know that people wear masks in and outside. I mean, outside, but I think it's optional here.
Pete, what I meant is that you know what, I don't know, like if just to answer what you said, perhaps you have everything that caters to your needs in your home gym. I have a fully equipped gym with different cardio equipment, weights, and whatnot. But my gym is, for example, in my basement. Um, I'm a little bit claustrophobic, so for me, low ceilings and no windows and stuff like that, it kind of bothers me. And again, I like to see people. So I'm not saying that. And plus, don't forget that you just said it yourself. You've been doing it for years. It has nothing to do with COVID. This is just the way you train. I'm talking about people that been going to the gym on a regular basis. So you know what Shane just said. As soon as they reopened, his ass was in the gym. That's a fact. You know. So it's not about disagreeing. It's about the fact that you had this setup prior to COVID. So this is for you normal. But those people who had to stop going to the gym because they were unable to, because somebody else made them stop to the gym. It wasn't a personal choice. They're sprinting to the gym. I assure you. Unless, of course, like I said, only those reasons. And I am right. It's not about agreeing or disagreeing. It's either they don't want to wear masks, or they scared, or they don't have the funds and they're trying to tighten up their budget. Other than that, I assure you 100%, everybody who's been going to the gym and those three reasons that I've given don't affect them, they're back in the gym. And those are the 30, 40, or 50% in any gym that I've seen.
Gotcha. You ever checked out the company NutriCost? They usually make single ingredients. Yes, that is one of the 2 or 3 bulk supplement companies that I recommend to people to buy cheap, high-quality ingredients from. NutriCost is one. Bulk supplements is another one that you can get off Amazon. So I have a tub of NutriCost creatine monohydrate in my pantry right now, as well as a bulk, like 2-pound tub of their Lion's Mane powder, or 1-pound tub. I've gotten rhodiola from them before. 1 or 2 other things. Bulk supplements the same. I've got regular bulk L-taurine, L-tyrosine from them, just because I like to add some extra to some pre-workouts here and there if they don't have use one.
I agree. NutriCost is amazing. I mean, yeah, I also get pretty much everything from them, the single ingredients, whatever I need. Very reasonably priced, amazing service, great quality.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool.
Apple dipper. Chug for sure. Sometimes it's too early to get it all down in 5 seconds because your stomach is so empty.
It's never too early.
Water first, powder second, or powder first and water second. In the mouth or not. I agree with Shane. I'm not trying to miss out on any performance.
Here we go. Thank you.
5 stars.
If I had to do it, I think I would do powder first and then wash it down with water. That seems to make the most sense to me.
No, it doesn't.
Same.
Ah, fuck you all.
This coming from the guy that doesn't like coffee or alcohol. You're outvoted here, Shane.
Yeah, which means I have a very specific set of likes, so I must know a lot about the things that I like, right?
Am I the only one who thinks that Saturday Shane is different from Monday Shane?
Yeah, Monday Shane. Monday Shane is a little more contentious.
It's the time zone. I told you this is the time zone because now daylight savings has shifted. I'm a lot more awake.
Ah, okay. Well,
Last time I was on, I was still adjusting.
Well, here's the thing. Is it still worthwhile? So we're not really an agricultural society anymore, to where we need to maximize the hours of farming.
Yes, I've
Should
had
daylight savings time just go away? Do we actually need that anymore?
Someone mentioned that to me in the UK, and I was just like, I don't care, bro. I mean, up to you.
Yeah, just about it, because like there's certain states within the USA that don't observe it. Like I think Indiana's one of them, and Arizona, or a couple of cities in Arizona don't observe it.
I think I heard about Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona, and I believe Indiana as well, or Indianapolis.
Yeah.
I don't know. Lukasz, do y'all do daylight savings in Poland?
Not that much.
It's hard to tell. He's in redness every time we ever see him.
Exactly, man.
It's a new moon every time.
Gotta have the gym atmosphere, even though I can't stand most people either. Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
100%.
There's something to a gym atmosphere. I'll agree with that.
You know what I just remembered? When gyms in Poland closed down, Lukasz and I would talk on a daily basis. God, he was a cranky bitch. Fuck.
Yeah,
He
I
was, and then when they opened, he was the nicest guy ever again.
Yeah, man.
He was just pissed. He was angry every day.
Yeah, me and Shane talked about, when the gym was closed, I was only doing assault bike on my downstairs and my rower,
I was
every fucking day it was only cardio, and once they opened, it was like I didn't miss a day for like 2 months.
Were you
I
the
was
first guy
going-
in the gym?
Yeah. When they reopened for 2 straight months, I was like going every fucking day, every day. I was training my ass off. So that was the best feeling ever. Right now the risk a bit increased, so we need to wear the masks outside when we were walking through the streets. When you are stepping to the store, you also need to wear a mask. And when you are stepping to the gym, you also need to wear a mask. But once you start to train, you can, train without a mask. So that's a good thing. But
This makes sense.
at the same time, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it makes no fucking sense.
No,
It's
I
less
saw-
contagious when you're just there exercising than I'm actually walking past another human being. So
I mean, masks are bullshit as is, but at least you don't have to do it like when you do a heavy set. At least they don't make you wear a mask. But over here, I think last week or something like that, I tried my best. I put a mask on, and I think I was doing a rowing machine back, and I literally got dizzy. I got dizzy with a mask on. So at least they don't make them to wear a mask when he's doing a set.
yeah.
But other than that, it's stupid.
You
Yeah,
had to
well-
wear them, I think, like outside for like 2 weeks. There was a time, I can't remember. My wife keeps saying, "This is a mask place. Got to put a mask on, put a mask on." And I'd be walking around the shopping mall and I'm like, and she's like, "What is wrong with you?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "I'm
Yeah,
a fat
same.
piece of shit, okay? Look, what do you want me to do? Okay? I get puffed. I get puffed even without a mask. What do you think I'm going to do when I have a mask on?
Yeah, it's right.
Doubled."
Just wouldn't wear it. I refuse to walk in any shop that's making people wear it. And so I've walked. A couple of them will have the signs up. We had to go buy some teaching supplies for Sandy the other week, and she was out in laying down with a migraine, so I took the halfling with me, and we went, and on the sign it says, "Per governor's orders, if you can't stay 6 feet apart from somebody, then you have to wear a mask." I walk in the store. I'm 6 feet away from everybody. Nobody told me a fucking thing. I said, whatever. I'm walking in, getting my shit, and I'm leaving. I don't talk to anybody. It's fine. Whatever. It's just anyway. We're not going to turn this into a political episode.
Yeah, let's
Why
do
not
some
do?
questions.
We're not going to do that. Yeah, we do not need daylight savings time whatsoever. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't see the utility of it these days. Arizona and Hawaii don't deserve daylight savings. Don't observe, not deserve. Observe. Coker lover. I want to take creative. I'm going to assume that's creatine.
Yeah.
But it seems to make my stomach feel weird. I take the 5 grams recommended. Any tips taking it? My suggestion would be maybe to break it up into maybe like 2.5 gram or 3 gram doses, or maybe try to take it with some like a full meal. So mix it up in your water. Take it with some carbohydrates and some protein, so it slows the digestion a little bit. And it's not pulling all that water into your GI tract all at once.
Yeah, my friend also had this problem with taking creatine on empty stomach, and since he started like taking it with the meal, he had many issues. So yeah, but stick to monohydrate. Don't stick to like other stuff.
Has anybody had any experience in taking TUDCA?
For liver health?
Yeah.
I love this. I love this stuff.
I love it. I mean, and I swear by it.
What's your experience in like taking it for the first time? Is there any kind of changes in your digestion or something in the first couple of weeks when you take it?
Please explain before.
No, I would like to hear.
We need a description saying something very
gosh.
You have to paint us a picture.
I want to know what I'm dealing with.
I would like Lukasz to explain what he thinks this is in relation to.
No, but
Is this like if you've had issues with forskolin? If you've had high doses of forskolin, is it something along those lines?
Do you had any stomach issues or something?
I have no issues. I have 0 issues.
Are you having performance issues, Shane? Or are we trending in the wrong direction here?
0 issues or complaints. I have a question.
So what's the question?
Do you see any change in your behavior or habits after taking TUDCA for the first like few weeks, and then it kind of subsides?
Meaning?
Anything different that you're like, oh wow, this must happen when I take TUDCA, because I've never taken it before. This is
Yeah.
my first time, so I'm not sure if this is attributed to something I ate or something from TUDCA, or like it's just like a
How much you taking?
shit. I mean, I don't know. One capsule. I can find out how much is in a capsule. One capsule twice a day. No, I'll find.
Is it 250 milligram or 500?
I'm about to find out. It is 250 per capsule, so 500 a day. 1 in the morning, 1 at night.
Yeah, because I'm taking 1 gram per day.
Whoa,
Jesus.
that's a lot. Fuck.
So when you first started taking 1 gram per day,
Yeah. No, I didn't start from 1 gram.
no, but like when you moved to 1 gram from like half or whatever,
Yeah.
were you like, oh, you know,
That's surprising.
bathroom's a bit weird today?
Yeah.
Okay, good. There we go. Nothing.
Yeah.
Because
I've never taken a supplement before. I know it's for liver health, but usually it's for people that
You never try it, Robert?
need to keep their liver enzymes under control if they're following an aggressive
Correct.
supplement regimen. So no, I wonder if it's got benefits for people that drink bourbon on a frequent basis.
Yeah.
Because I had it and I was like, someone was saying, I haven't really noticed too much in terms of feeling or anything. I did notice though for the first 2-3 weeks,
Yeah.
it was a little funky when I took a shit.
Yeah.
I won't go into detail. We'll keep it as clean as it is political. It was a little bit, it was funky.
Yeah.
I have experienced supplements before, like when I started taking gut products for the first time.
Yeah.
They told me, they said, oh, make sure things can get a bit strange in the first 2 weeks, and then it'll kind of balance out. It was the case.
Yeah.
Shane, and you don't have to answer. But is
color?
it no? Is it a reputable brand?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was, but that's one of those things that, like, I know obviously if Lukasz is saying it, then it's probably, and he takes a gram, so he'll know.
Yeah.
But it subsided, like went away, like within 2 weeks. So I was like, okay.
It normalizes with me. It normalized after 1 week. It was okay.
Yeah, I was curious.
Yeah.
But I had 3 bottles, so I was like, can't not take it. May as well
I
go with it.
know that I used to take obviously I never denied it. I took steroids and whatnot, and I had elevated liver enzymes for as long as I remember.
I thought you're naughty.
Yeah, fuck you. Well, technically now I am, but no, I mean. I don't know if it was related or not, because oral steroids can elevate your liver enzymes. Actually, they do. But my liver enzymes, every time I would get tested, they would be elevated. Not a lot, nothing crazy, but I would be told by a doctor they elevated. And I would take milk thistle, and I would take all those things, liver care and Live 52, and I would do blood work, and it would always be elevated. Again, nothing crazy, but just slight elevation. Mm-hmm. So we even came to conclusion that maybe it was a genetic thing or something like that. And your liver enzymes can be elevated also from lifting weights.
Yeah.
So, and then I switched to TUDCA when I found out about it. And I would use, I think, 500, just like Shane, 250 and 250. I would use that. And even if I was on a steroid cycle, my liver enzymes would be actually normal. And when I'm not, they were also normal, always in check. Actually, I didn't have any issues with liver enzymes ever since I started taking TUDCA. So I definitely swear that by the supplement, I think it's absolutely great and definitely 100% works. I haven't been taking not milk thistle, not Live 52, not liver care, nothing. Just TUDCA twice a day. And I've been doing it religiously, and I definitely believe that it works.
I like to stack it with NAC. That's
yeah, I do that
awesome.
too. Yeah, I do that too.
Yeah.
How much are you doing of NAC, Lukasz?
500 milligrams.
500 milligrams. Okay, yeah, I usually do either between 600 or 1200 a day.
That's what I do, 6 to 1200.
Yeah, interesting. I pulled up some of the data on TUDCA. Dosages are anywhere between 500 milligrams all the way up to 1,750 milligrams. Some big fucking dosages.
Yeah, I don't want to be playing with that 17. I don't even be playing with more than what I'm on right now.
Shane's gonna have like radioactive colored shits or something going on.
More radioactive colored.
There we go. Caffeine is great for the liver. Caffeine is great for everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Especially if you take it with
5
other
a.m.
stuff.
workouts, for example.
It's for what, Shane?
5 a.m. workouts.
There you go.
Yeah.
One thing it's not good
man.
for our little kids because they don't need any of that. Because if you give that to them, that would just keep them awake.
Jesus Christ. I really wish I had the energy that my child did. It's amazing. You give her sugar and she can run laps. I'm like, fuck, you give me sugar and I'm like, I ate something? What happened?
Chipillo, what's up, supplement guys?
Hey, guys.
So I was going to say, Lukasz, are you just taking TUDCA for overall health, or is there something particular? Like, do you have a history of like high cholesterol levels or anything like that?
No. I never had issues with liver toxicity or anything like this. I never like used any hardcore shit, but I just use it for like health purposes. I love it when I stack it, like I said, with NAC. I really like the ambrosia, the nectar. That stuff is really good, which gives me like different kinds of herbals that keeps my bowels on the right track. So yeah, that's to be honest, that's really important to me. Supplements not only should be strictly due to used via performance. I like it to use them on a daily basis, like probiotics, those kind of things. It's like it's really important to me, to keep my health on high level.
Understandable. Question from Heinz Krups. Is it affordable? I think it is affordable. Finding a reputable supplier is part of the issue. So I'm going to look it up right now to see if NutriCost has TUDCA capsules, 250 milligram and 500 milligram capsules for $30.
Yeah.
So that's not too bad. You can go search NutriCost TUDCA. You can get 500 milligrams, 30 capsules for $32 on Amazon Prime right now. You can also get a powder if you have one of those microdosing scales, and you can get 25 grams of the powder for $40, which that's going to be 50 servings. So it's cheaper, obviously, if you just have the powder and you can weigh it out yourself.
Yeah, for guys that are based in the EU, I definitely recommend Supplement Needs. These guys have a very good TUDCA, so I definitely recommend that.
Supplement Needs, you said?
Yeah.
Do you guys have like a full cupboard of like single ingredient stuff?
Bro.
I'm starting to sound like you all have like a science kit. Is this true?
I keep so bulk ingredients that I usually keep on hand are certain nootropics like CDP choline, uridine monophosphate, grapeseed extract, both for like its vasodilatory benefits. Plus there's some cognitive benefits and liver health benefits as well. I've got bulk taurine, bulk tyrosine, bulk rhodiola, bulk Bacopa monieri.
Damn, man, that's pretty sick.
One more that I've got, one or two other bulk ingredients, just because certain nootropics I'll add to it or not. And then other times it's good to just have theanine. I've got bulk theanine and bulk KSM 66.
Maybe I trust brands too much.
Well, I mean, sometimes I don't use a lot of different supplements during the day. So if I have a nootropic, but the nootropic doesn't have as much acetyl-L-carnitine in it as I want, I will supplement it with that. I will supplement the supplement with some bulk powder. Or like what I'm drinking right now, like the Jack Factory Cognisurge. It doesn't have any Alcar in it, so I'll add a gram or two of Alcar to it. Or if, a nootropic has, or I'll mix in some bulk lion's mane powder. So I guess I'm up to 11 ingredients now because I just need two more.
Do you do often like your mixes? You start from the scratch and you basically build something, especially for a particular day or something like this?
You ask me like, when I'm setting out to work for the day, or do I have like a pre-workout?
For example, you're working and you say, well, I've got this bulk powder, that bulk powder. Okay, I will mix something up. So you're working like a barman, or like cocktail. You're doing like a cocktail party, and you want to fix
Oh, yeah.
something up for yourself.
Yeah, man, I like that, and I guess sure, it's half the time I will use a pre-made formula like a pre-workout or a pre-made nootropic, or sometimes, but a lot of the times if I'm taking a pre-workout, I don't need a stim nootropic later in the day, so that's why I have all those extra bulk ingredients. Or sometimes I would want the dosages of certain ingredients to be higher in it, so it can go both ways. Some days I'll just have a cup of coffee and then I'll just dry shoot all of the nootropics into my mouth or take them as capsules. Other days it'll be I'm mixing up a pre-workout, but I want to add a little bit of extra tyrosine to it because it may only have a gram. I want 2 grams in there, or it may have choline bitartrate in there, but I want CDP choline in there. So it's kind of it's on it changes on each day. And then but my usual stack, if I'm going to be drinking later that day, is about an hour before I start drinking. I'll take 200 to 400 milligrams of grapeseed, 2 to 3 grams of taurine, 100 milligrams of theanine. What else? 1,200 milligrams of NAC. I think that's it. There might be one other one that I'm forgetting, but yeah, and some lion's mane. That's just when I usually take my daily dose of lion's mane.
I love lion's mane.
Yeah.
I don't have any single stuff.
Well, you hop around so frequently, it wouldn't make sense to do that.
But dextrose. Apologize.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
Dextrose. Always.
Seriously?
Yeah, man. That's my post-workout shake. I can never find a post-workout that's got the right balance of carbs to protein.
What ratio do you like?
Go with the rice cake, man, or something like this.
See, maybe Robert can answer this question. And I've had this experience with rice for maybe 6 years. I used to have it all the time when I was a kid. Well, like when I was little. I used to have, I don't know, 160 grams of carbs a meal, maybe a little more, 5 times a day. And then as I started getting older, and when I started cutting down, I never noticed it when I was younger, but when I started cutting down for my wedding, there was this little weird transition where I maybe switched to like 3 carb meals a day, and I had 2 others, and then I had 2. And every time after I ate rice, I started getting weak and my skin tingled. And at first I thought it was because I had a fat burner or like stims. And so I was like, okay, no, let's cut this out. And I kind of just went with it because the last thing I thought was the rice. I cut out rice, I switched to oats. Gone. It was like it's the kind of feeling like when you get overstimmed, or like when you kind of get like tingly in the skin, not beta-alanine-ish, and I talked to people and they said, oh, it's probably something else you're taking. I was like, look, dude, it's there with rice. It's not there without rice. I don't know what the fuck it is with rice. Maybe I have a reaction that I've grown over the years, but I haven't had rice as a staple in my diet for like 6 years because of that. It just was like, doesn't happen with oats, doesn't happen with dextrose. The only other 2 carb sources I have. So I just cut it out completely and was like, could not figure out. No one could really tell.
You know what? I think this is the reason why Robert and I work very well together, because I am more like based on what you just said, and Robert is a lot more scientific, and he has the backing of true science. But I'm not surprised at all about what you just said. Honestly, I have zero explanation, so I'm not going to be like one of those guys, oh yeah, 100%, I know. Like, I have no idea. But I do know that you're actually telling the truth, and I'm very, very familiar with this, because you know how the old school bodybuilding, where you eat rice or you eat this or you eat that, everybody would prescribe you a program that, just do this and you're good, regardless of how you feel. So when I was more into contest preps, I would also tell people like what to eat, like regardless of how they feel. I would like, okay, you have cup of rice here or yams here or something like that. As I got a little bit older and a little bit, I guess, smarter and a little bit more experienced, I realized that whatever the fuck the reason is, just like you had with TUDCA that I didn't, we react to certain things in a different way. It's just like I think our body mechanisms are different. And like, for example, I love oatmeal. I absolutely love oatmeal. But the thing is like if I eat even half a cup to a cup of oatmeal, which I do, I know in advance that I'm going to get bloated. I just get bloated, gassy. I just feel a little bit uncomfortable. I still eat it. I still like it, but that's just the way it is. Rice, for example, I did not like. Initially, I wasn't a big rice fan. Now, when I eat rice, I can have 2 cups of rice and I'm 100% okay. No bloat. I feel great. I feel energized. I feel phenomenal. I honestly think that it comes down to how we react to certain foods and how our body reacts. I don't think personally, maybe Robert's going to correct me and it's going to say that I'm full of shit, but I honestly don't have an explanation to it, because right now, actually the last couple of years that I did contest preps for people, you know what I would do? The first week, I would put guys on rice, on yams, on oatmeal, and on Ezekiel bread. Four types of carbs, and on cream of rice, sorry. So 5 types of different carbs that I know that I like to use in contest prep. I mean, if you're carb sensitive, later on, you're going to be on 0 carbs and you're going to be on keto. But I was more adjusting. So like, for example, if I would do a diet for you, Robert and Lukasz, more than likely the first week, if we would start together, all 3 of you, I would probably put you on identical diet just based on how much you weigh and stuff like that. But the types of foods would be exactly more or less the same. But towards the end of the week, I would actually tell you in the beginning, I would say like, Shane, Lukasz, Robert, what I want to do is please let me know how you feel, with different types of carbs, how you feel like during your workout. Are you feeling tired? Are you feeling bloated? Are you feeling discomfort? Are you feeling gassy? All those things I take into account. And then I will throw out probably most of the carbs and stick with the one that actually works for you, because we're not now eating for pleasure. We're eating because we're getting ready for a certain activity or for a certain contest or even for a wedding. It doesn't really matter. So at that point, I will go with whatever is comfortable for you and will yield results. So if you told me that, for example, with rice you have those tinglings or or upset stomach or something like that, I would not go and start reading books and doing research. Is it possible? I would not say, you know what, shut the fuck, man, because you make 0 sense. I've never heard scientifically it's impossible, because this is your reaction. This is just how you react. That's how your body reacts. So this is my personal opinion. I just think that that's the way your body reacts. And also, as we age, we also have certain issues with certain type of foods. I think as our body changes, like, for example, I absolutely love mushrooms. I was born in the fucking mountains. So mushrooms were actually like one of the things that, it was in my family. We would eat mushrooms like few times a week. And I really like them. And I still do. I still like mushrooms, but I do have a serious digestion issues and sometimes even stomach pains and other stuff that associated, like my stomach does not digest mushrooms very well. And I think with age, those things can happen and we just have to adjust to it. I don't think we need to look into, because even if science would dictate that you're full of shit, and it means, and you're talking out of your ass and nothing, it's not possible. But in reality, that's how you feel. So who am I to tell you otherwise? We just have to go with what your body feels and what you actually react to in a positive way. But that's my opinion. I don't know, Robert, what do you think?
I just found it interesting that rice is the carb that's given Shane the issues, or he had issues with rice, just because that's one of the most benign carbohydrate sources, or especially for people that have GI complications or bariatric surgeries and things like that. Like that's the one carbohydrate it's the least allergenic of all the starches out there. So I found that fascinating. Like the most easy, even keeled carbohydrate, the one that's it's not packed with gluten or anything else like that. It's just I found it interesting.
When I cut down, and I'd been taking it, like I said, I've been using rice for 10 years up until that point.
Yeah.
Well, actually probably 5 on a bodybuilder diet. And I cut down with it before. And it was just this one time, and I came down and I was like, I had 3 months to go until I needed to get to a certain weight. And I was like, and I toyed around with my macros. I was like, okay, let's up the fats. Still happened. Cut the stems to nothing. Still happened. And then the rice, but I did not think it was the rice. I even took out all seasoning, all oils, and literally just had chicken breast and rice. And I was like,
bland freaking diet.
And then I was like, I don't want it to be the chicken, so I cut out the rice. And then lo and behold, and then I've had oats with my breakfast and like oats and protein powder for like the last 18 years.
Mhm.
And that has never bloated, never done anything. It's been my most reliable carb source. I even used to try and switch to have rice in the morning before I went to the gym, like 2 hours before.
Mhm.
Oats were just magical for me. Way better. I don't know why.
Shane, did you try different types of rice or different brands?
Yeah. I had white rice. I did because I usually had the microwavable rice.
Okay.
And then I switched to regular rice, like cooked in the rice cooker. I had brown rice. I had egg fried rice. I had basmati rice, jasmine rice.
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch. The only difference I noticed was that the ones that didn't fill me up as much, that didn't feel as filling, kind of didn't feel it as much, but the feeling was definitely there. Like it was almost like within 5 minutes of eating it, I could sort of, it just was like a weakness. It was really weird. But all I know is if I took it out, I was all good.
To be honest, I would bet it's all about like digestion. Because if you're not like eating and consuming some type of foods, you start losing the ability to digest it. So, for example, your gut microbiota is changing, and that's why you may had some issues with digestion of the rice, because as you said, your macros weren't super low, and that's why you had these issues with digestion. So, what I would try to do is to introduce some probiotics or add some digestive enzymes.
I have those now. I have those daily now.
Things are amazing, and they can help you, with like transitioning to like different types of foods. My friend had exactly same problem because he was on a keto, and he was for like, I don't know, 2-3 years, and he didn't like do any cycling keto. He was on a straight keto, no carbs at all. So once he started to introducing the carbohydrates, he had like TUDCA is is on a different level, man. So yeah, he had so many issues with that, but I told him, start slow, introduce foods one at a time, and after like 2-3 weeks, his bowels like normalize as well, and right now he's eating like 350 grams of carbs per day, and he feels amazing, and he's sticking to 3 different types of carbohydrates. He also eats fruits, and he said that he has no digestive issues. So
see, that's the thing. I have fruits and all that. Just I haven't gone back to rice for 6 years. I'm just sort of waiting.
That's why I think that, if you have this like period of time that you are not eating some type of food, I think you lose the ability because your microbiota is changing all the time. If you're, for example, eating like, I don't know, chicken and rice for like, I don't know, 24, 30 years, your microbiota will get used to it, and your digestive tract will be super efficient to digest only this kind of food. But if you, for example, add to this kind of like meals, let's say, I don't know, 30-40 grams of nuts, it will be fucking blown,
Yeah. I mean, it's I just haven't really gone back to it. I'm just sort of one of those people that's like,
if it works, it works.
Figure out what's wrong, get the fuck out. That's what it is.
Yeah.
There might be other reasons to it, but I mean, I did my own little science, and disappointing because it's nice and easy. But oats are my best friend right now.
I'm not a super big fan of like rice.
Everyone says oats. They're just like, oats make me bloated and that. And I'm like, dude, oats. If I up my oats, I can actually feel better performance and like longer endurance when I go to the gym.
I actually believe that. I believe that. I also like with oats. I definitely feel for some reason like I thought it was in my head, but the thing is like I feel if I take a little bit of oats, my workouts typically are better. I feel more energized. But like I said, I react to oats. If I have a substantial, even not substantial, about a cup of oats, I do feel bloated. But I really think that, and even if I take digestive enzymes or something like that, or, a fiber, I don't think it's going to help. And the only reason why I don't think it's going to help, because I'm good with everything else. I'm good with the other types of foods, but there's just like with oats, that's an issue. Cream of rice, no problem at all. Rice, I'm fine with. Sweet potatoes, actually, I never liked them before. Now I do like them, and it's also no issues at all. I think it's just like we react to different things.
Yeah.
I think everybody's body is just like so different. I know people who strive on keto diet. They absolutely love it, and they don't need any carbs. And like you, Lukasz, said, and I agree with it, you don't eat anything before the workout. It's basically on an empty stomach, and I still think you can get a great workout. And that's the reason why, with the intra workouts or post workout, so to speak, I don't think there is such a thing as a best intra post workout, because it depends what you need in it. And to be honest with you, you can have carbs in the form of, like, I don't know, cyclic dextrin, or you can have dextrose. I personally, if I would take carbs intra post workout, it would be dextrose. That's me personally, and I'm a fat kid. When I eat carbs, I get fat. But still, around the workout, I would actually opt for cheap dextrose, because I think that I would get more benefit from it. Other than that, I don't need carbs intra workout. I can be okay with just some aminos for fun, and that's it, and I'm good to go.
Okay, there we
By
go.
the way, as far as oats, do you cook your oats, or do you eat them raw?
What? What a fucking freak!
That's my
Wait,
question.
I'm lazy. I just microwave them, to be honest. I'm
I
lazy.
suppose. See, I did. I did the oats in the shaker and the protein powder, and then
That I've done. Yeah, that I've done.
and then
That's
blend it.
fine.
But
Yeah.
over the weekend, I was stuck. I didn't have a blender, so what I did, and Robert's not probably going to think this is that great. I basically had a little bowl, and I had oats, and I used the little coffee, the little milked pots that they had, poured that into my oats, and then mashed it with with artificial sweetener, and I just ate it straight. I was like, you know what? It's not too bad. It was dry, but I actually thought it was pretty good.
Actually, I heard quite a few people that eat dry oats and they like it. I mean,
Robert, what about you?
I definitely needed the extra little pots of milk, but I mean, even my wife was like, "Bro, you're a fucking freak. That's gross."
so I'm gonna side with her.
Oh man. All right, Chapillo. For drinking depletes an enzyme named glutathione. Is alcohol the only thing that makes it run out? No, glutathione is one of the most powerful antioxidants in the body, next to melatonin. It's not necessarily the enzyme. Well, it could deplete the enzyme that's converting NAC into glutathione, because NAC is a precursor to glutathione, and in and of itself, NAC is also a pretty potent antioxidant. Now, alcohol isn't the only thing that will deplete it. Any kind of environmental toxin, alcohol, certain prescription and over-the-counter medications like acetaminophen or Tylenol, those little the gases that are emitted, or the fumes that come off when you grill meats over like really hot barbecue pits and stuff like that, or tobacco smoke, car exhaust, all of those things. Anything that is toxic or a toxin to the body would technically deplete the stores, because if free radicals and oxidative byproducts are entering in your system, your body's going to have to use up some of those glutathione reserves. So anytime you're exposed to some kind of carcinogen, toxin, whatever, glutathione reserves are getting taxed. So that's what would deplete that. So it's not just alcohol, though. Alcohol is probably the most common one, next to tobacco smoke or a car exhaust. But if you have enough NAC and you eat enough other like nutrient-rich, antioxidant-rich foods, it shouldn't be something that you're overly concerned about. No TJ today. We thought TJ was going to be joining us, but I think he finally got roped into a work product, or I don't know, something going on with work.
He's eating that damn jerky from Branch.
Ah, okay. Shane, you got any quick hits for us this week?
I do. It's much easier when there's three. I have. Who should I go with first? You know what? I'm gonna go with Robert, not Robic. Robert.
Okay.
This is Kaged Muscle. You have to hear it out. I actually thought this was a pretty cool concept. I don't know if you saw their Naturals vitamin.
I
Pulling
know,
it up right now.
I know what you're coming with, and I also think it's a cool concept.
So it's called multivitamin. I thought it was pretty straightforward, but they took a kind of approach where it's made with only like whole food organic ingredients like kale, broccoli, I think spinach is in there, I think, and so it's made with these superfoods essentially, and it uses them as sources for all the multivitamins at precisely 100% your daily value. I thought that was a very interesting way to go about it because typically you put like, I don't know, multivitamins and multivitamins, they're all pretty straightforward, but I actually quite liked, and on the label, they list off each vitamin and mineral and which whole food ingredient they come from, which again, I thought was a pretty cool concept, a very unique approach. I don't know the price, but it's I quite like that. I hadn't really seen something like this before as far as multivitamins go. They're probably out there.
I mean, I'm sure there's some granola eater brands out there that have released like a food supplement or a foods derived multivitamin. But no, somebody in the sports nutrition realm, I think might be a first. I really like this approach.
See, this is something big. I think this is a unique
this is something that's worthwhile. You know, so often we see synthetic forms and certain nutrients. The synthetic form, like caffeine, has been shown to be as effective or more effective than the natural forms that you'd find in coffee, tea, or whatever else. So certain nutrients, their synthetic forms are just going to be just as effective as their natural ones. So you could make an argument so that since this is a more natural form, maybe it's going to be a little bit more bioavailable for the body, or easier to take up. It's something that's natural. Now that also lends into the naturalistic fallacy that just because something is quote unquote natural means it's healthy, which that's not true. I mean, arsenic and cyanide are natural too, and those will kill you quicker than anything. But overall, I mean, I like this. What I'm curious about, it says iron from spinach. So we know that the non-heme iron from plant sources is not very bioavailable. That's why it's better to get it from like red meat sources and things like that. What I'm curious about is, so it tells you where the sources are from, but I don't know if it tells you the exact forms of the mineral. So they bioactive forms. Like we've got the vitamin B12, which is the hydroxycobalamin from chlorella. Now we know that typically methylcobalamin is the bioactive form. So I'm curious to see, you know, how bioactive are some of these. I do really like the fact that they're going for the plant-derived minerals. It's not going to be cheap, but I think it's cool, and I like that better than companies that make shitty multivitamins and put things like magnesium oxide in there, iron oxide, these really poor quality mineral forms. Put in the higher quality stuff. And so, if this is one way to get those higher quality things without necessarily going all synthetic, I like it. It's cool. I mean, I like this much better than the game-changing pre-workout they released, 2 months ago or a month ago. I like this.
I thought this was pretty cool. I like the approach. Like, based on the name, I was like, oh, it's just going to be a vitamin and mineral, but it was kind of in disguise a bit, because I mean, you didn't really get the whole ingredient approach until I saw the label and then kind of looked into it a little more, and I was like, I actually quite like this. I'm still hoping it has a multivitamin price. I'm worried it's not, but with all that stuff,
I think it'll probably land in the $20 range. If I had to guess, $20 for a bottle of multivitamins.
20, 25 is pushing it for me for a month of a multivitamin.
Yeah,
I would like to see it around there. 20 would be nice, but I don't know.
Even though, would you pick it up? If this would be the price mark? Yeah.
Yeah, I'd try it. I mean, my theory is always, it's kind of like the glutamine thing. And I hate to bring that up, but like if encapsulated glutamine was $16 and regular glutamine was $15, I would buy the encapsulated glutamine. Now, if it didn't do more for me than regular glutamine, I would switch back. But then you get into the argument, if it was $17, would you still try it? $18, would you still try it? This multivitamin, if it's $20, it's well within the realm for me to try. And if I feel a little better or I notice anything different, then I'd probably stick to it. I would pay that little bit more, because right now I think my vitamin falls in the 15 realm. somewhere there. I can't remember how much I paid for it, but yeah, it's got to be within reason. It's like pre-workouts. I would spend 40 on a pre-workout, and let's just say there was a pre-workout that was $80. I mean, it's a different scenario, but unless it's like a mind-blowingly good, then I probably wouldn't spend $80 on it.
Yeah.
But it's it's all subjective. So next, I have Robic, and I have Ghost, and this one I actually quite liked. I mentioned this. Lukasz has probably listened to my podcast already, but I actually thought so. They revamped their amino supplement Ghost Bcaa, which is a pretty straightforward product. It was always they have Ghost Amino, which is their more complex EAA, and they have Ghost Bcaa, which is just BCAAs and estrogen. So they revamped it, and I actually thought it was pretty cool. So they added an extra gram of BCAAs per serving. They didn't change the amount of servings. They switched to vegan fermented BCAAs. They are also lowering the price. They've added more flavors, and I think that's it. So basically, they made it just a shitload better, which I thought was really cool, because typically when you increase the dose of BCAAs, they jump down to 25 servings, or they keep the price, like they raise it, whatever. You never see all three, lower price, same servings, more ingredient. I thought that was the flavors. They've done a bit more with the flavors. They're doing more Sour Patch stuff, but I was just impressed that you don't see. I don't think I've ever seen those three things done in one revamp. Lower price, same servings, more ingredients. You just never see that. Price will stay the same, but yeah. I mean, as a brand owner, you got to. I know you revamp a lot of your stuff. You got to appreciate the, I guess, just the all-around positiveness of that one.
100%. Yeah, you know what the funny thing is actually we're redoing. I think we're releasing it in a couple of weeks. Our BCA product, and also there's going to be more flavors. Price point is going to be probably about the same, and there's going to be a little bit more in a formula than before. So we basically kind of like I didn't even know the Ghost was going to do it. So, and we're changing the label too, and the look and everything else. So, and you know me, I mean, by now you've seen what I do with our other products. I add more, and I try my best to keep the price the same, and most of the time I actually do. Here's a little trick to it, and this is kind of like it's not going to be a secret to you, but a lot of people probably don't know about it. So we are not as big as Ghost, obviously, but even a blind person can see that Apollon has grown tremendously, especially this year. Surprisingly, this year we've grown a lot. Ghost has grown a lot. I mean, period. They keep growing more and more and more. So when you grow that bunch, keep in mind we used to order a product in hundreds of units. And that fucking thing would last us over a year because we didn't have the market. Now we're ordering in thousands, and that doesn't last. So you know exactly where I'm going with this. The cost.
I think Ghost mentioned that. They said that was one of the things. Now
you see, I didn't even know about it. So the cost definitely drops. And if you are an honest and transparent company, and you can tell your customers, like, listen, the quality is not going to go down. We're actually going to give you more, but we're going to charge you the same or less. I think that's very, very cool, because we could go the different route and say, you know what, we're putting more in a product, so we're going to charge you more. But the thing is that I think what they did is, listen, we have to be honest. Just like you said right now with Kaged, I mean, they did something unique, something good, and we give them props. It's all about us being honest and non-biased. I think what Ghost did with the BCA is great, and I think it's good for them, and I think it's good for the customers, and there's nothing to say except, well done, great job.
Yeah, I think on the YouTube they mentioned that they said that it was a saving that their manufacturer passed on, and then they just passed it on. So it makes sense, similar to what you were saying. But yeah, like you said, most of the time it's increased dose, higher price.
I'll tell you what.
Lower servings.
You've seen. You probably don't remember, but I'm sure you've seen the very first version of Hooligan that we had. The very first version nowhere near, and I mean nowhere near the current version. However, we were paying for it about, and I'm not lying right now, about $3 or $4 more than the current one. The current formula is still very jacked and very expensive, but nevertheless, now we're ordering in thousands.
Yeah.
But the first one, we ordered, I think, 150 units or something like that. Well, it was also a different manufacturer. So the price was substantially higher than what we're paying right now. So we were able to keep the cost the same. I think at the end of the day, it depends on the company. Obviously, a company that is growing, they will be able to negotiate a better price. Because right now, I don't know who they manufacture with, but I'm pretty sure that they get preferred treatment. When we used to manufacture with, we manufacture, I think, with like 3 different companies. But what I noticed is when we ordered products 3 years ago, which were substantially lower quantities than we do now, the companies, I would call them and I would have to wait for them to call me back fucking days if I get through them. Right now,
I've heard about this similar to smaller brands.
Yeah, right now I can call the owner of the company and he better answer the same day, because we do have options, and there are other companies that would be more than willing to manufacture our products because they know they're going to make money. So I think as a result, obviously you can negotiate better prices. Obviously you can get better credits as well. I mean, before, for example, us, we had to give 50% down payment and then 50% upon picking up. Right now, if we want to, sometimes I still do it, but if we want to, because the order is massive, we can also negotiate credit at no interest. They will give us 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So I think that because of that, you're able to get better pricing. And I think what goes there is actually pretty honorable.
Yeah, because I mean, typically it's Again, I've never seen a brand do the 3-in-1 same servings and stuff like that. It's almost always like a bump down to 28 servings or something small like that. So we're gonna close with Lukasz. Now I have choices for you, Lukasz. We have Rockstar, Gaspari, Grenade, or G Fuel. I'm pretty sure you know what any of them are gonna be, but you can pick.
Last time I picked, so now you can pick for me.
I have to pick? You know what? Fine. I'm going to go with what I believe to be the first great tasting protein bar, and that is Grenade.
Yeah.
So they came out with a new flavor today. Not your traditional chocolate, but it's an apple crumble called Apple Rumble. Typical Grenade style. It's launched in the UK and Europe. I don't know if it's coming to the US. Same solid carb killer profile. You got 20 grams of protein. I think it's like 200. It is slightly on the higher end of calories, 236.
40 to 40.
Yeah, because some of their flavors are down at 210, but and they even have higher protein. So my hopes this thing's gonna make up for it with like an awesome taste. But I lost count how many flavors they've done. This is probably their 20th, 30th or some shit.
Something like this.
It's like their 5th fruit flavor, and they have not missed a beat on their fruit flavors, like with the raspberry, the banana, even the Jaffa Quake, which I'm not a big fan of that, but it hits. What's your thoughts? I mean, I know you're a big Grenade fan.
Yeah, I'm a big Grenade fan, that's for sure, and I love carb killers, so that's. It's, to be honest, it's probably one of my top favorite bars out there. But since they started working with limited flavors, and I believe since this year they launched some pretty cool concepts. I really
is this a limited? I don't know. I didn't know if this was a limited flavor.
It's gonna be limited flavor.
Oh, yeah, Lukasz knows.
I know this is gonna be a limited time offer, just like it was with white chocolate strawberry. Sorry, white chocolate strawberry.
Yeah,
the last one. So this one is already gone. We sold it pretty good stock of it. So yeah, and customers really enjoyed it. to be honest, my favorite is still dark chocolate raspberry, which blows my mind. But
Yeah.
I wanted to write you a message today because every time, I hate it, but every time it's like white chocolate covered, I'm a hater as far as like white chocolate. I don't like white chocolate bars.
I hate white chocolate. The
Yeah, I
actual
love
food
white
white chocolate,
chocolate.
I hate white chocolate. It's not even real chocolate. It's just cocoa butter.
Yeah, if
I
this
love white
bar,
chocolate.
Me too. I love it.
you know what,
Color
guys?
fired.
If this bar would be like dark chocolate.
No,
with
I
some-
think that white chocolate goes with apple better than a milk chocolate. That just feels weird. Like
I
an
like
apple
dark
crumble.
chocolate.
I know you
I
like it.
dark chocolate because when they launched their dark chocolate with raspberry, it was like it
They
blew my
nailed
mind.
it when they did their mint with their dark chocolate mint.
Oh yeah, they
That
nailed
was
it.
the one that was like, holy shit,
Yeah.
this is
It
insane.
didn't taste like toothpaste. It had this nice this nice vibe because you know what.
You can
Yeah,
taste mint outside of toothpaste. What are you talking
No,
about?
because some bars that have the taste with mint, they have this fucking aftertaste like you are like chewing gum, that is heavy in mint, and
Maybe
you
they
have
just
this
put toothpaste in the
you
cut
have
shortcuts.
you have this weird feeling in your mouth like you just brush your teeth or something. I don't
Yeah,
like
it's a
it.
minty freshness.
Yeah, but I liked what Barbells did with their mint,
Yeah.
and what Grenade did with the mint. So these two bars were pretty good. But I'm hyped about the apple
Apple
because
Rumble.
I'm a huge fan of apples. Oh man, I'm a addict when it comes to apples. And now in Poland we also have a season for apples. Man, loads of different kinds. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm interested to try it. Like I said, the fruit flavors have always delivered. My most favorite of their bars is still the banana armor, the original limited, which was limited edition, but they kept that for like a year and a half or something. That's still one of my favorites. Because you don't get chocolate banana that often, especially in a protein bar. And that one, I was annoyed that was limited, but they did keep it around for like a year and a half, so that kind of proved, it must have been a hit if they kept it around that long, or it didn't sell that well. One of the two.
They are not popular in the US, right, guys? Did you
No,
try
I think there's a lot of flavors that they don't do in the US specifically because Americans are a bit like they don't do the Jaffa Quake, like the chocolate orange. They said that's just not going to the US.
Yeah, but they didn't know the Jaffa cakes,
Yeah, but then like chocolate orange is just not really a.
Yeah, that's not their thing. Yeah.
It's funny you say that, Shane. That is one of Sandy's favorite flavor combinations is chocolate and orange. I despise it. She loves it. So
I despise it too.
Yeah, I tried grenade bars, the grenade carb killers, like 3 or 4 years ago. I did not like any of them. I thought they were gross. But maybe we got a bad batch. Maybe it was an old batch. I don't know. It was not a good experience when I remember trying them. The texture was off, the flavor was funky. So maybe we just got a bad batch.
They've come over at different times, like because I know that they launched in the US and they did like a relaunch kind of thing with Vitamin Shop.
Yeah,
I think they have a strong presence now, but like they had to change. I think they did a. I can't remember what flavor it was. They did a cookies flavor, and they had to change the color of it because they know Americans associated cookies with blue and Oreo. So it went under a different name. And like you'll notice small changes in names from the UK to Europe to US markets just because they understand that it's different. But yeah, a lot of their flavors, like they did the Nando's one, the peri peri for their for their vegan bar.
Oh damn.
That was cool. That was so cool. I mean, I know it wasn't Nando's authentic, but like it was a peri. I was like, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
But they do these flavors, yeah.
Does the cost seem a little on the high side for y'all? $3.38 for a single bar and almost $40 for a box of 12. I mean, that seems.
Or is that Grenade? Is
steep.
it the US store though?
I'm just reading whatever's on your site.
Yeah. Probably. No, if you buy direct from them, it can get pretty high. Like they do a buy one. I've seen them do like buy one, get one half price deal. So they don't like do super competitive. They're kind of like Bang.
Yeah.
On Bang's website, they sell their
Yeah.
cases for like $32. But you can obviously get cheaper Bang in stores.
I'm sure.
Yeah, on Amazon you can get a box of their dark chocolate raspberry, a box of 12 for $23. So it's under $2 a bar, $2 a bar. So
Yeah.
that's a little more reasonable.
It was like barbells, like barbells in the like when I was in Sweden, you could get it for €1 a bar.
Yeah.
Like I remember seeing them in the middle of the aisle. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
Best day of my life. It was fantastic. But you just everybody's different. But that bar, that was the original for me. No one came through with a candy bar like protein bar until Grenade was like,
Shane,
here we are.
Shane, what was your favorite story of the week?
Well, for fuck's sake, stop asking me this shit.
Oh, I wanted to ask you this. So Shane, did you try the original SynFit bars?
No. Oh, wait. Sinister Labs.
Yeah, Sinister Labs. The SynFit bars, like they were one of the first ones to do like the triple layer candy bar style thing. They said, screw the cleanness. We're just going to go like pure candy bar flavor.
How much is in the bar?
No, see, they were the first to do triple layer, but they weren't the first to do like a candy bar like protein bar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess they were just going to say they were prioritizing flavor and texture above everything else. So I mean, it was 350 calories, 30 carbs. I forgot the rest of the macros. But now they're switching to a whole foods based bar.
Yeah. I saw this like when they previewed the product, and they're like, oh, we're doing a whole food bar, and I'm like, that looks like the outright bar, like the shape and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn, like, yeah. I mean, I didn't think too much of the original SynFit bar. Like, it was all right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it wasn't like I still put Grenade over it.
Yeah.
Their calories weren't super high. Like it was a 30 gram bar, was it not?
Yeah, it was 350 calories a bar.
Yeah. So I mean, if you scaled that down to like a 20 gram bar, it's only 250 calories, which is what the Proceps My Bar was.
Yeah.
And that was very similar to me. That was very similar, if I'm not mistaken, made at the same place.
Mm-hmm.
But that was similar in terms of taste and texture. But they made that big switch to the whole food, gluten free. I haven't seen
that's
too
good
much.
or bad.
I mean, I don't know. It depends if they weren't selling any of the other one.
I like the original SynFit, so I don't know if we'll see how the new ones come out.
You always have to stay true. Like if Robic started doing a 300 milligram caffeine pre-workout, we'd be like, what the fuck are you doing? Right. And if someone started doing a 800 and they'd always done a 300, you'd be like, that's stupid. Like you got to stick, and you can switch, but you run the risk of your fans being like, I actually really loved that one. Like I really, really loved your original SynFit bar. I really liked your 700 milligrams of caffeine. Like they might have been the thing that actually kept people in.
Right.
And then you switch and they're like, okay, so this isn't good anymore. Like you don't think it's that great. So, but then you can switch and do well. So, like Hulk. Hulk was played by a different actor in the first Hulk movie. And then we switched to Mark Ruffalo on Avengers. Turned out pretty good. So
it did. That was a good swap. That was a good swap. I'd agree with that.
I mean, it's tricky. Yeah, I mean, it can go either way. Traditionally, it doesn't, but let's see how it goes. I'm just hoping it's not too outright bar like, because I had the Rise protein bar, and that was very similar to the outright bar, but it was not like the outright bar. It was very chewy, and it didn't have the flavors kind of to make up for it. But
did you have the field bar from Bear Performance?
From who?
Bear Performance.
BPN.
Yeah.
No, I haven't had this one yet. No.
No, it's also similar build as MTS.
I got my Chiefs review coming this week.
Oh, okay.
It's not. I'm very disappointed, but
it's not pleasant.
The shakes are not bad, but I mean you can't really get a shake wrong when it's got a bit of carbs in there. But their bars, it's probably my first sad review for a while.
Ooh. So that was your favorite. So that was your favorite story of the week.
I haven't done it yet, and I think I mentioned this to you. My Devastate review. Has anyone else tried the new Devastate State of the Union?
Yeah, you mentioned it on the podcast.
You need to try it.
Oh.
Just FYI, note it down. Robert, get your pen out. Write this down.
Got it.
Try
I'm
it.
still waiting. I'm still waiting for my shipment.
I told TJ to try it. I don't know what the hell is in that thing, but Jesus Christ. I'm on low carbs, right? I'm so pumps for me are a little bit harder to get.
Mhm.
I know that. Like they don't usually get so when a pump pre-workout works, I notice. And when it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Pumps on this thing blew my mind. And the stims are insane. And the endurance was insane. Enough said. Like it was, I don't know how. And like I even said this to Chris. I was like, he's like, yeah, I don't know how it works all together this well, but it does. I was like, well, that's funny because you made it, but you know. And he's like, he said he spent like a year or a year and a half on it.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like Gaspari. He was stuck in a situation where he wanted to launch it earlier in the year, but with shit that went down and not people being able to work out, he was like, fuck, we put it on hold. But I advise people to try that. It is very impressive, I would say that. But I think I'm doing my review next week. First, I got to do Chiefs, but yeah, it was impressive.
I'm waiting for that.
Well, you know what? That's exactly what we talked about when we said, when I mentioned earlier, it depends on the manufacturer and everything else. I mean, I looked at the formula, and the formula is good. I mean, I wouldn't say that that's the best formula I have ever seen. I mean, again, everybody has.
Yeah, but I mean, the citrulline's at like 4 grams.
Yeah,
I was like,
it's one of those things. It wasn't a bad formula. It wasn't. You see, I'm not gonna use the word great, because the thing is, great is meaning a certain status of a pre-workout. The reason why I'm saying is because we've seen very, very impressive formulas, like they're absolutely amazing. But this is a solid formula. Let's call it a solid. This is a solid formula.
Yeah.
And for those that actually, looking for something good, without a doubt, I mean, they definitely, I've seen some people who criticize actually the label, and I've seen some people who absolutely love the label. So you see, it's like it's different. I actually like the label. I wouldn't say that I'm crazy about it, but I really, really like it, just because I personally like different things. So whenever you present something that I've never seen before, something outside the box, I'm the same about the movies. I will say, I'm impressed, because clearly you did your homework and you actually took your time releasing something that you worked on. So I don't like when people say, because I heard some people saying that the label sucks and it's childish and stuff like that. I strongly disagree with it. I think the label is solid, just because you can definitely tell that a lot of work went into this label. I mean, they obviously were playing with different looks and stuff like that. That's the reason why I constantly say, do not say it's good or bad when it comes to, say, for example, labels. Because the thing is that maybe it's shit for you, but it's good for somebody else. You can express your own opinion by saying, I personally don't like it, but don't classify it as shit. So I think that they did a great job with the label, whether you like it or not, just because a lot went into it. In terms of a formula, on paper, it doesn't look like the greatest thing I have ever seen, but it definitely looks like a solid formula. In terms of performance, I mean, I don't question it. I haven't tried it, but I don't question it for a single moment, and I'll explain why. Why it's as good as you say it is. The reason is because one of the formulas that I have questioned before, that I thought was good, but I wasn't impressed with it until I tried it. This is one of those situations where labels are just labels. One of those solid formulas was Performix, Hypermax.
Oh, you mean Performax? Yes,
Performing. Hypermax, right? It's called Hypermax.
Yes.
So I actually talked to a friend of mine who owns a supplement store. On Friday, we had a meeting, and I was like, "Well, how is Hooligan doing? How is Assassin doing?" Because I like to do that research all the time. And I asked him about different brands. And I said, "Well, how is Hypermax doing?" Because he sells that too. He goes, "Oh, it's okay. It's average." He says, "It's not crazy. It's not bad. There's average demand for it." And I was like, he goes to me, "What do you think about the product?" I said, "To be honest with you, it's among my favorite products on the market." And it was the formula that was released probably about a year ago. And I put it, I mean, of course, I'm biased right now, but I put it on the same level as Hooligan. I really do. The reason is because I think it delivers on all levels, just slightly less powerful, which is okay for some people because not everybody wants to go and run through the wall. Yeah. So I think it's an amazing product. And even though we have a pre-workout being released every fucking day, you have like 10 fucking or 20 pre-workouts, good or bad, released on a daily basis. I think Hypermax, I think it's the same formula for the past 2 years, I believe. It's still, in my opinion, because like I said, people are looking for different things. Maybe somebody doesn't want pump or somebody doesn't want energy. I want everything in a more comprehensive pre-workout. So if we're talking about comprehensive pre-workout that contains all three things, I think Hypermax, I don't like to classify 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that there is a bunch of pre-workouts that can share that, first place, because we have different needs and different goals and different desires and different tolerance, just like you have with rice, so it's the truth. I think Hypermax is still among the best. And I would say, when people would ask me, I was actually planning to put a post about top pre-workouts myself. And I don't think that you can do number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I just, I think that it's dumb. And I believe actually TJ, the one who did it, where he said, I'll put top 5 or top 10, but not in particular order. Because everybody is different. There are people who swear by, I don't know, the Hypermax, but there are those people who think Hypermax sucks and Hooligan is better. And then you have people that think Hooligan is not good enough. Like somebody did a review on Hooligan, I told you, and he said, well, I didn't feel no energy. I mean, probably come off drugs that you're using, because that makes no sense. But
no way did you not feel Hooligan.
But you know what? Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, it's impossible not to feel Hooligan. But the thing is, if he doesn't, he probably is using fucking crack cocaine or some shit like that. And Hooligan was his appetizer. But the thing is that manufacturing and everything comes to play, and I think that Devastate, they did a great job on the label just because of the work they put in. I think that it's impressive. In terms of a formula, it's a solid formula, and it clearly works. So it's probably, among the best on the market right now, and rightfully so. They deserve the credit. But then you have people who are claiming to be game changers or the best on the market, and and clearly they don't belong to even be mentioned. So I think that it comes down to that. But I'm not surprised, because like I said, Alpha Yo from one company and Alpha Yo from another company, same milligram, same dose, same everything, can feel completely different.
I think I'd say that on paper, this thing performs 50% better than what it looks like on paper, and it looks pretty damn good on paper.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I actually think I have Hypermax. I have my top 5. I actually number them because I just care about myself. But I actually have.
But you just said yourself.
For me.
Yeah.
I have Hypermax 1 and Hooligan 2, and then I think 3 is like Core Fury.
Who makes Core Fury?
Core Fury, the Core Nutritional one.
Okay.
I love the balance of that one. Balance to me is more of a. But if someone said to me, "Oh, I actually like Hooligan Hypermax," I'd be like, I can completely understand that.
100%, me too.
But I wouldn't argue, because for me, I just preferred the pumps were slightly better in Hypermax, but then the energy was slightly harder in Hooligan, and then the endurance was similar. So it's my preferred balance, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's. But I still think Devastate, I see every time he makes a new pre-workout, I think he makes it for my exact preference, which like it feels like he's made it for everything I like, which is weird.
Yeah.
But definitely give it a go, because that shit hits harder than you would expect, which is surprising because I just came off reviewing Hooligan.
Mm-hmm.
And it just, I don't know. He's a wizard. This is the most I could say, the best I can say.
Chris is the best.
Yeah, he's a loose dude, but he's
I love the guy.
He can string together some crazy shit. Him and Landon definitely came together on this one. I can say that.
I'm super happy here in London. Just like
you when you try, you'll be like, this is about what you'd expect from these two.
Yeah,
like,
man.
This is what you want from these two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Yeah,
cool.
I think I'm ordering another 6-month supply. I said this is one of those things where, like, usually when you get a pre-workout this good, like, it disappears. So
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
better
want to.
to order
I don't want to
more,
run the risk.
Yeah,
It's like a Hypermax. I got a stash of Hypermax here. Still got my Hooligan and Assassin. I mean, I like holding on to the good shit.
Oh
And
yes.
you know what? You know what? I actually know two friends that they work together, and they both use our products, and they get into arguments like all the time, and it's just so weird. One of them says that Assassin is the best shit ever, and he's not a big fan of Hooligan, which I'm not offended by. I mean, it's
Yeah.
fine. And the other one says, "Oh, come on, Assassin doesn't even come close to Hooligan," and they argue. It's like an argument all the time. What's better?
Yeah, I can see that.
But again, it's their preference. So
Yeah.
why would I argue? Like for me, I'll take Assassin maybe, and it's my product. I should be saying that I'm taking it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But I'll take Assassin maybe once every 3 months or so. Just for the hell of it. Sometimes I'll take it. It's not because I don't like it. It's not because it's too strong. It just I'm not an assassin type of guy. It's not particularly for me. This was a business decision that I was making for customers. It's a good formula. It's just not for me. But I will take Kumite probably like 3 or 4 times a week. And Hooligan, I will take once or twice a week. It depends again. So I think everybody has their own preference, but you're 100% right. Like I would go actually, and this is going to be probably surprising as fuck, but I would probably say if I had to choose between Hooligan and Hypermax for me, and I'm talking for me personally, I would probably use Hypermax more than Hooligan. Oh, shut the fuck up. I'm honest. But it's just it's for me personally.
You know this meme?
It isn't because you, Robert. It's just because I don't think in the history of Stacked in the 10, 12 years, I may have heard one person. No. I've never heard anyone say that they would take someone else's star product over your star product. I've heard someone say they'll use another brand. I've never heard a brand say that they would prefer
Because they're a
someone
bunch of
else's over
fucking pussies and liars. Fuck them. I mean,
You
that's
just had to. I was saying, I was complimenting you on being very nice, and then you just.
No, I said them. I didn't say you. I love you.
No, I know, but I mean,
in the beginning of the show, you were like weird and shit. I was like, "What the fuck is Shane from Saturday? Like, who the fuck is this guy?" But no, I love you. Like, if I could see you, I would give you a hug. But it's the truth. It's just like you said. There are pre-workouts for our personal needs. I'm a businessman when it comes to Apollon Nutrition. I take tremendous pride in what I do. I think my shit is the best on the market for the intended use, for the intended customer, for that customer base. I don't think anyone comes close. However, I'm not that customer. I am somebody who knows how to formulate shit. If I don't, then I go to Robert Schinetsky, which is on a daily basis. And so, Robert, expect my call in about half an hour. I'm actually not kidding. But you know what? If there is another product that, I tried. I will tell you later. I've tried a bunch of proteins. I still think that we have probably the best tasting protein on the market. Like, I still haven't tried anything that is close, especially to that formula of isolating casein. But when it comes to pre-workout, it's just slightly less. What Hypermax offers is more suitable for the type of lifting that I do. I don't train powerlifting, run through the wall type of of training. I don't do it. I do more moderate supersets and stuff like that. I need a good focus. I need a good pump and good steady energy. So why would I lie and say that it does not mean that Hooligan is not as good as Hypermax. I think Hooligan is as good as Hypermax, just slightly for a different audience. I happen to be a little bit more of the audience of Hypermax. And if it's a solid company, solid people behind the company, formula that I can actually respect, I will not hesitate for a split second to give them props, to promote their product and tell people buy them because they are fucking good. And that's a fact. But and you probably can guess who it is. I know of a manufacturer, I know of a company owner, supplement company owner, who was loving, and I mean loving, Assassin. He was obsessed with Assassin, and at the same time, he would never mention it. And not only that, assassin type of products, he went on social media and blasted it. I mean, said that it's fucking worst product ever and the worst, ingredients. But he has it on his fucking office desk and he's using it on a daily basis. I'm not going to be that guy, and if somebody happens to go from my customers, you know who it is.
I don't know who it is.
Of course you do. When we come off air,
who it is, but I don't know who it is.
Okay.
There's a difference between knowing the person and knowing who you're talking about. I'm very oblivious. Remember this. I think everybody is sunshine and roses. Oh, you got to message me. Okay.
Of course I'm going to message you. I don't have a choice. It's killing me now. Okay, you have messaged all of you.
Oh,
so
yeah.
There you go. Exactly. So I'm going to be that different guy. I'm going to be that guy who gives props to those that deserve to get it. I think Hypermax tastes fairly good. I think it's a great formula. I think it works great. And I would highly recommend for those who want a little bit of a lower stem product to go ahead and buy it because, fuck, it deserves it.
Yeah, that's honorable. I think it's tricky because most brands, though, like they can't, like other people from they can't necessarily recommend that kind of pre-workout if they don't actually sell it. I suppose it'd be tricky for you recommending Hypermax. It makes sense because it's similar intensity to you. It's in that same upper level of well-rounded, powerful pre-workouts. Whereas if I don't know, some newcomer recommended some other giant pre-workout, it would seem a bit odd. I mean, you got to have it. It's got to fit, I guess, but it makes sense. You like in Hypermax because again, it's equal power.
Yeah, I was introduced to him at Mr. Olympia, I think, last year. We literally talked maybe for about 30 seconds, and he seems like a nice guy, and I like his products. I mean, and he's also, what I like about his personality. He's not as aggressive as me, but he seems to be very honest. He takes pride in
what... as aggressive as you.
No way.
Maybe TJ. Maybe TJ would be.
But at the same time, you know what? I mean, he makes an honest product, and he doesn't go on a fucking social media and says that he makes game changers and fucking boasts that he's the best on the market.
I like that about him. Like whenever he comes up with a new Hypermax, he'll try this. I'll be like, this is a new one. He's like, yeah. I was like, is it better? I think so. Whereas other people, this is the greatest pre-workout you are ever going to put down your throat. I can guarantee it. You need to take this home right now, snort, and get to the gym. He's just very humble and just
great guy. You know what? I don't remember. It was one of the podcasts that I did. I think it was with you, Robert, that we did a podcast and we talked about Assassin. Mm-hmm. And I said, you know what? It's gonna fuck you up. You're gonna feel you can. There's nothing you cannot accomplish. It's like that feeling like you can do and achieve anything. However, it tastes like shit.
Yeah, you did say that.
It improved with time, but at the same time, not by much.
I will say I've had worse.
Makes me feel. That makes me feel good.
I definitely had worse.
I had worse. Yeah.
we all had worse.
All right, gentlemen. Any closing remarks before we put a bow on this one?
Yeah. In the beginning, I wanted Shane from Saturday. Can we do this on Mondays? I like him. It's cool.
I told you it's the time difference. It's now I have an extra hour's sleep. I'm a little more alert. I haven't even had any caffeine today.
Ooh.
Yeah, I noticed it was a protein shake or something like that.
Yeah, it was my
no Monster, no nothing.
My oats and protein powder. That's 50% of my carbs today, right in there. That's what you saw me drinking.
Already gone, macros.
Gone. Heartfelt. Gone.
All right, gentlemen, thank you for joining me. For the listeners out there, thank you for tuning into the live stream. If you like what we're doing, click the like button, click the notification bell so you're always joining us for our usual time slots on Saturdays for these recordings. Leave us a review, thumbs up, comment, send us any angry emails, direct them all towards Shane. If you don't like what we're doing here, if you have any complaints about the podcast, direct them to Shane.
On Mondays.
On Mondays.
Me and Copy and Robert. And
and thank you guys for doing all this. We appreciate it, and we will see y'all next time.
Awesome.
Take care, guys. All right, bye.